So I want to start off by saying to differentiate requires that the teacher recognizes that there are differences among the students, and consequently, she or he purposefully plans for the diverse needs of students so that they all feel included and worthy of learning. But how do students differ? So students differ by languages, they differ by the levels, they differ by the levels of readiness, they differ by the cognitive levels, they come from different educational backgrounds, they have different attention spans and interests, they have different language abilities, and they also have different cultural backgrounds. All of those come into play when they are sitting in a classroom and receiving learning. So the teacher needs to be mindful of the differences among the students in the class. So students then differ as learners. As a teacher, to learn well, you need to pay attention to each student's needs, challenges, and make sure that they are successful. We cannot provide that if we ignore students' differences, right? Some of them are going to get what we're teaching if we're just doing it one way, and others are not going to get it. So attending to these differences requires a flexible approach to teaching. Flexible approach doesn't mean that you change your whole plan. It means that you are not fixed in your plans, okay? And differentiated instruction is rooted in an inviting environment, assessment to inform instruction, and flexible classroom management. And this is all taken from Tomlinson's book of 2017. So what is differentiated instruction? Based on the online dictionary, it is to mark or show a difference and recognize what makes someone or something different, make or become different in the process of growth or development. So it all talks about different, and differentiation means recognizing this difference. Now, Koschek in 2016, he described it as the process of adapting instruction to meet the needs of students who vary in background, knowledge, skills, needs, and motivations. So there are misconceptions about what differentiated instruction is and what it isn't. So here are some clarifications to make this clear. So what differentiated instruction is, it is student-centered and it is not curriculum-centered. And this means that I start planning for my lessons and units by starting with the students and what their needs are and who the students are, not by what the curriculum needs to be taught. You see, there's a difference. Differentiated instruction is for all students. And so it's not mainly for students with learning problems. So I do differentiated instruction in a heterogeneous class, not in a, special education class. I am not also tracking students by abilities, okay? So I need a change in philosophy about how learning should take place, but I don't need a different lesson plan for every student or individualized instruction, okay? And differentiated instruction benefits from multiple approaches or options for content, process, and product. And it's a mix of whole class, group, and independent learning. So it's not a whole group drill and practice or any single structure or activity. Differentiated instruction is more about quality than quantity. Like, how have I planned for this lesson? How did I deliver this lesson? How are my students learning this lesson? So it's not based on how much did my students learn, right? And it's not based on fact-based learning alone also. So the big part of the work for differentiated instruction happens during the planning stage, and because you need to think about your students while you're doing planning, okay? So Also, it is rooted in assessment. In this case, assessment is really taking as part of the instruction. So it's not just to assess students' learning to see if they learn the material. It is also used as a tool to help students learn the material, okay? It is based on on teachers constantly reflecting on, their planning and how it was effective when they taught the lesson, and also doing readjustments to help students learn well. And at the end of the day, it's a belief system that says all learners will come to the classroom with potential ready to be assessed, okay? So as you can see, it's focusing on the individual students, but also as a whole class setting, right? So you don't have to modify your instruction up or down to make it more difficult or less difficult based on the student's level. It's not a method that you will need all new material for. It's not just about learning styles, and it's not just a set of strategies and activities. In a nutshell, differentiated instruction is complex and flexible at the same time. The complexity of it comes in the planning stage, like I said. You need to think about your students and think about your content and how you can tailor it in a way that makes it accessible to all your students. So students differ in learning styles, interests, prior knowledge, socialization needs, and comfort zones, okay? It is rigorous, so provides challenging instruction that motivates all the students. It is relevant, so not more of the same and not fluff, but essential learning. And it's proactive, so using methods like hands-on projects, okay? The best differentiated classroom gives students choice in what they learn and how they learn it and how they show they learned it. So giving students choices. I have this project, but I have, you can choose assignment A or B or C uh, to complete, or you can use the reading A, B, or C, okay? Connections. So you're connecting the new learning to the previous knowledge and experiences and to the world. So making it relevant to students, okay? So that they can remember it. Learning how to learn, it's about metacognition, right? The teacher should take the time to make the students aware of how they learn best and to teach them strategies that will benefit them inside and outside the classroom. And also, it's about different and multiple learning modes. Brain research tells us there are many different learning methods, including inquiry, memorization, technology, socialization. In a differentiated classroom, both students and the teacher learn new learning methods. And we discussed those in previous classes. Each brain is unique. Although virtually all children are born with the capacity to learn, the experiences they encounter actually shape and alter their brains as learning occurs. And this is by Bransford 2000. So based on that, by increasing the variety of ways the brain processes information, both verbal and nonverbal, increases the connections between new and known facts and knowledge and information, and learners deepen their understanding of new information by representing it in different forms. And this is by Washburn uh, in page 19. So the learning pyramid, as we see in a picture here, it shows that students learn least through lectures and then reading and then audiovisual, which is like videos, but they learn more through demonstration, through discussion groups, through practice by doing, and by teaching others. So the more we increase those activities that are in the light green at the bottom of the pyramid, the more we can have students process information and remember the information and deepen the learning. So again, differentiation does not mean that you need to change what works for you. It asks that you consider expanding your repertoire to see if you can reach a few more students. The more techniques you can use, the better the students will learn. So you can differentiate by content, and this means what students need to learn or how the students will get access to the information or material with various reading levels. And we'll give examples in a minute, okay? By process, activities in which students engage to make sense or master the content using tiered activities with different levels of support based on the needs of the learner. Also by products. So culminating projects that ask students to rehearse, apply, and extend what he or she has learned in a unit. And this is all possible in a learning environment that encourages differentiation and how it feels to be in that classroom and do this work.